Hello everybody, True here, bringing you a E3 video. This is the only one I'm going to be doing on E3 because my channel is firmly centered around the Xbox One. So doing any other conference coverage is a bit pointless really, because you're all coming here for Xbox games. So yeah, this was a strange conference. I'm a really big Xbox fan, as you all know. I've had all the Xbox consoles from the original Xbox brick, which I call it the X brick, the first one, through the 360 and the Xbox One itself. I had them all at launch day. Really loved all three consoles, but this conference was bizarre. This conference was the don't buy our console conference. They was giving us loads of reasons not to buy an Xbox One. Firstly, the thing they started hammering about was crossplay. So, don't buy an Xbox One because you can play it on the PC as well. Okay. PC gaming. If you wanted PC gaming, you'd have a gaming PC. You wouldn't be wanting a console in the first place, because obviously PC gaming is going to be always better because it can upgrade on the fly. There's innovations. You're not locked into, a fixed platform. And crossplay is never ever going to work, because for a simple reason is most games, the control schemes, the mouse and keyboard is going to be far better, far faster, far more accurate on the PC system than any elite joypad, elite controller that Microsoft can produce. So if you're going up against Call of Duty players or Gears of War 4 players, Xbox versus PC is going to kick your ass basically. They're going to have so much of an advantage, it's going to be unreal. And that's even before we take in the net connections, the latency, the lag problems and things such as that. The PC is just going to own in that regard as well. So crossplay, while in an ideal world, if it was a level playing field, is a great thing. It's not a level playing field, and at the moment, with the way technology is, it's never going to be a level playing field in the near future. So yeah, it's nice that you're getting a free copy of the game on Windows 10. Obviously, they're wanting you to upgrade to Windows 10 as well for those who've not done so, so it's another way of pushing that down your throat. But yeah, it's giving you a reason not to buy an Xbox One console, because you can play the same game, get the same achievements, and you think you even get Xbox Live for free on the PC as well. Not to buy an Xbox One basically, because you can play it on the PC. So very, 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 very weird start to the conference. Now I'm going to mainly go through this conference in order that they showed things on screen, but I am going to break order slightly right at the very start here, because we did obviously announce. First thing was the new Xbox S console, the Xbox Slim console. I mean, I bet it took ages to think that name up, and it looks a nice machine, and it's a natural progression. They redesign it, production costs come down, they can fit more into lesser spaces, chips become smaller and everything. So it's a natural progression. We've had it in the last few generations of consoles, where consoles have slimmed down enormously and become cheaper to produce. But then they give us a reason not to buy their new console, which is out very shortly, because at the end of the conference they announced one of the worst kept secrets ever was the Xbox Scorpio, was their code-naming it, which is going to be a upgraded Xbox One, basically with more grunt, more GPU in it, more processing power, more everything really. We had a lot of talking head developers there just spewing that this is the console gamers wanted us to make and everything like that. Didn't really tell us an awful lot about it really, what it's going to do. Obviously 4K gaming is a big thing at the moment, so it's going to do that. It's going to have more processing power, more graphical grunt and things like that, but it's going to have more than that really to make people jump ship. But again, it gave us another reason not to buy the current Xbox One console, and a reason not to buy the new Xbox One S that they just announced 45 minutes previously. So bizarre, absolutely crazy. Who's going to buy an Xbox One S when a year down the line you're going to have a far superior console that's going to come out and absolutely make it obsolete? And same with the existing Xbox One stock. It's just crazy. Who's going to do that? Unless you really can't wait the year and a half for it to come out. There's just no reason for you to buy an Xbox One console at this time. It's just very, very strange. And I wonder if that's going to translate to sales, to be honest with you. But yeah, crazy way to do things, to be honest with you. Very, very strange. Anyway, onto the games. So obviously it's AAA title. I do AAA in quotes, so you can't see me doing it, but games to come out there, and they started off with some heavy hitters. We had Gears of War 4, which we've seen. We all know what Gears of War 4 is going to be. We all know it's going to be a solid third-person cover shooter. We all know it's going to look decent, although I would say I wasn't that impressed with the graphics, to be honest with you. I thought they could have been an awful lot better. We had Laura Bailey, who's doing the main female lead, come on and supposedly play the game. I still question whether these live gameplay demos are actually live gameplay, to be honest with you, because nobody ever seems to put a foot wrong in them, do they? Do you know what I mean? It's very, 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 very bizarre. But yeah, it looked good. It was Gears. It was Gears of War. It'll be a good game. It'll be a good, entertaining game. It'll be a game I'm not going to buy because I'm bored to tears with Gears. I mean, every game's exactly the same. But it's going to be good. And if you're a Gears of War fan, you're going to love it. And it's going to do really well for the console and the Gears franchise, to be honest with you. We then moved on to more Gears, although it was Killer Instinct. General Ram is coming to the Killer Instinct universe. Never been a fan of Killer Instinct. I have got it on my Xbox One. I think it's one of the less tactical fighters out there, to be honest with you, but it's got a big fan base, and they're getting General Ram as an exclusive character. I don't quite remember if they said it was going to be free or not, but either way, if you want to go that, if you want General Ram, I don't like these characters invading other games' universes, to be honest with you, because I think they mess with the ethos of the games, to be honest with you. They don't fit. Like with Soul Calibur, you got Spawn, and you got Zelda and Darth Vader, I think, at one point. Yeah, they just don't sit well with me. They kind of like break the universe. But if you like Killer Instinct, that's going to be a great addition, because they do bring regular update characters. And I think they're on Season 3 of Killer Instinct now, aren't they? So it is doing really well for them. Then moved on to another established franchise, Forza Horizon 3. It's going to be set in Australia. That seems to be the main thing to come out of this. It seems to be 4-player co-op as well, campaign co-op. So is it going to be a bit Fallout Paradise-ish, where you can drop in, drop out, and do racing stuff? It looked gorgeous, to be honest with you. It looked really, really good, and I'm not the one best to comment on racing games, because I actually suck at them, and racing games is my least favourite genre, but it looked amazing, it looked good, and from what I know of my friends who do like racing games, it's, you know, really tight controls and everything, and a really, really decent racer. So more Forza. Only a good thing, really, I suppose, for those who love Forza. But again, we've just kicked off with 3 titles with which were sequels. All sequels, unfortunately. So no originality there. And we then moved on to what we did get a CGI trailer of last year. We got Recall. We got to see some actual gameplay footage. And it seems to have changed a little bit from what I imagined from the CGI trailer we got last year. It's obviously going to be a third-person kind of brawler, shooter kind of thing, where you can rip cores out of certain enemies and install them in other shells, which that creature then becomes your companion. So that's the interesting twist there. It looked nice, the graphics look bright, it's a new IP, which is, again, I'm excited about, so I'm fed up of seeing sequels, and yeah, it looked really, really interesting game. We still need to know a lot more about it and how the mechanics work. Can you rip the core out and put it in absolutely any enemy that you want to do, or is it just specific ones which are scripted? If it's scripted, it's a little bit disappointing, but if it's any enemy you want, then it does open a lot of opportunities there, a lot of different variations. But how much will this companion be used? How much is the actual ripping and recoring feature going to actually impact the gameplay? Is it a gimmick? We don't know as of yet. But what they showed us in terms of gameplay did look interesting, so it is one to watch. I don't think we got a release date. I think we did get a release date, didn't we? It's not very... I'll have to rewatch it, actually. I only watched it early this morning, and I'm still half asleep, unfortunately. Then we got Final Fantasy 15 we're on now. I didn't like the look of this at all. I've been disillusioned with Final Fantasy games for quite some time, to be honest with you, and this one didn't really bring anything to the table. The demo seems to have problems with frame rates as well, and it just didn't look like a Final Fantasy game anymore. It just looked wrong. I think this style of this is my opinion, by the way, so don't stone me for this, but I think the Japanese RPG style is just completely lost its way at the moment. I don't think there's been any really classic games. I mean, I'm at the moment, personally, I'm playing through quite a lot of old PlayStation 1 JRPGs, and even going further back, even to the 16-bit days as well, and they're absolutely amazing, still highly playable to this day, but it's just all... I just don't know. I don't even get the setting of this one. It's kind of like modern-day setting, but there's fantastical creatures set in it as well. So, yeah, weird, yeah, Final Fantasy 15. Another one I'm not going to be buying, unfortunately, but for fans of Final Fantasy, I don't know, comment, let me know what you thought of it. To me, it just didn't look like Final Fantasy anymore. I know it reinvents itself every iteration of it, but yeah. Then we got Division DLC. Whoopie-doo. Division, the game. I don't know if a lot of people know about this, but apparently 93% of players have abandoned the Division. I read in a report. So, because they realise there's no end game to it. The end game is just absolutely drab, boring, and it's just pointless, basically. So, while it initially did well, it's lost a lot of its player base. So, I think this is just an attempt to get players back, really, with a kind of survival mode. It was yeah, interestingly different, I suppose, different tactic of playing it, but again, it was all CGI. We didn't get to see how the game mechanic would actually work, so answers on a postcard with that one. Then we got to see the Battlefield 1 trailer for the 95th time. That didn't bring anything new to the table. 64 players, EA access, you get to play it early, you know what I mean, just nothing really to write home about there. We've just seen that all before. Then we got Xbox Live platform engineer came out, or whatever he's called. He went through cross-platforming. Again, we now can play background music. We've had that before, to be honest. It's not a brand new features. Language region. You can now independently pick your language region from where you actually live, which is fantastic. So I know a lot of people, obviously the world is a wider place now than it used to be, and if you, the way it works at the moment, if you set your machine to a certain locale, you had to choose that locale's language, which is stupid, really, because I could be an English speaker living in a bigger country at random, I don't know, Czech Republic, there we go, I watched them on the football the other night. Czech Republic, I don't speak their language, so I want to set my console to English, but I can't because I have to set my region as Czech Republic, so it makes sense that you can choose your language independently to the region you're in. So that's a great addition, which should have been in there in the first place. Cortana is replacing Kinect, basically, so it's not Xbox do this, it's Cortana do this. I've turned my Kinect off months ago, to be honest with you, because the Kinect just fired up by itself and did things on the console when I was doing live commentaries and completely screwed videos up. So yeah. Community features, the club, no, thank you. Just no. The arena, no. It's just yeah, it's where people can gather in communities for certain games and stuff. I can't see that being a thing. I can't see that being taking off in any way, shapes, or form, to be honest with you, but we'll see. I am actually previewing the summer update for the Xbox One dashboard, and I have to say it's a massive improvement. There's a lot of verticality in it at the moment, rather than scrolling horizontally. You now scroll up and down, and it's a lot better. I won't go into a lot of detail because I'm thinking of doing a separate video on it, to be honest with you. But this is I think coming further down the line as well, so I've not fully explored it yet. But I'll have to check if he's already in it, to be honest with you. Then we moved on to Minecraft Realms. I remember about Realms. I never called them Realms. Called Worlds. Crossplay again. Oculus support. Cross-platform with this, that, and the other. I've noticed that Minecraft, obviously, Microsoft has bought them out now, so Microsoft own that IP, and it's coming out on pretty much Sorry about that. It's coming out on pretty much everything at the moment. There's an Android version, Google version, there's a iOS version coming out of achievements and stuff. So it's all cross-platform stuff. Me, again, Minecraft, for me, Minecraft, I don't get it. I don't get Minecraft. Obviously, millions of people do get Minecraft, and I appreciate that. It's for me, I just don't get that kind of game. But yeah, each to their own on that one. Then I've got a section which I put as cosmetic tat, basically design your own controller. Never been interested in that myself personally. For those who do, fantastic. How much is it going to cost though? That's the only thing. Controllers I think are overpriced as it is. So if you're having a bespoke controller made for yourself, then I'm sure that's going to push the cost up even further. And how bespoke can they be? Is it just different colour panels you can pick? If so, that's not that fantastic really, is it? Okay, so what have we got now? Inside is coming out very shortly. That was a surprise. That was one of my featured games to watch out for in 2016 on the indie scene by the guys who made Limbo. Didn't really see an awful lot of footage, to be honest with you. In the footage they did show, nothing was happening in it. But it's coming out June 29th, so not long to go for that one to come out. Then we had the ID at Xbox, like kind of sizzle reel, as they call it. And there's a lot of games there. Had a few seconds of footage flashing up on the screen there. I'm going to do a separate video on that because obviously my channel is centered around indie games. So I'm not going to go into those in a lot of detail now. But amazingly, we got to see some original titles flash up on the screen there, and there was bright and colourful titles. There was an interesting mix as well. Other than that, I'll go through those in a more detail in a completely separate video once I've been able to watch that bit again, slow it down, and research some of the games that they've announced there, because I'm sure there's going to be more information to be found on the net there. Then we got a bizarre one. We got Witcher 3 Gwent. Now, for those of you who don't know, Gwent is a card game that's in the world of Witcher 3, and it's a fun diversion. But I use that word diversion. It's very basic. There's, I think, 3 different factions for what I can remember when I used to play it, and you have to basically put down cards of more value than your opponent. I can't remember the exact rules of it now, but it is very, very basic. So to make a fully fledged game of it, they're going to have to flesh it out. They're going to have to put more rules in place. And the problem is, when you do that, is it the game you're making anymore? Is it still Gwent? For me, bizarre one. Hopefully they're not going to be ridiculous on the price. You never know. These kind of things can go one way or another. They're absolutely just pointless and totally trash, or they could have a sleeper hit on the hands, like Hearthstone or things such as that. But yeah, the CD Projekt Red are a brilliant developer, probably one of the best around, to be honest with you. So apparently there's loads of fans requesting this, so whether that's true or not, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'll wait and see. Then we got a bizarre one with Akuma and Hihachihai, I think it's called, fighting out. And I thought we was finally going to get the Tekken Cross Street Fighter, or whatever it is, Tekken Capcom, whatever it's called. But no, it was Tekken 7, so I'm not sure why Akuma was there, to be honest with you. Maybe he's a guest character, but I'll go back to what I said. They shouldn't mix universes unless it's a side spin-off game. But Dead Rising 5, we've got the return of Frank West. She covers Ward, you know, the original protagonist of the Dead Rising series. Dead Rising 4, sorry, not 5. I skipped a whole game there. But I love the Dead Rising series. I hated the first 2 because they was in too much of a confined area. But the launch title that came out on the Xbox One was amazing because it actually opened it up into a proper, fully fledged city. And they're just fun games. They're just fun to play. You can just switch off and just maim a few million zombies and not have any regards to it. Then we had Scalebound. I was interested in this game last year when we saw the initial footage, but I've lost complete interest in it completely now. The character just looks an utter knob, to be honest with you, and throughout the fighting, too much talking going on. There was, oh, let's do this, oh, attacking now, blah, blah, blah. You know, the character just shut up and just kill the bloody giant crab, you know what I mean? Just, you don't have to yabber on to us constantly. Just kill the giant bloody crab, for Christ's sake. You know, fight. You know, don't just yabber on and talk crap to us. You know what I mean? And then when he put the headphones on, I just thought, no. The only thing I am, say, interested in switching between on foot and on the dragon. Wasn't clear if you could do that at will, or if you can do that, say, when a bar filled up or something, or when something allowed it to happen. But that could be an interesting mechanic. But we can't judge it. We can't really judge it properly from that one fight alone. But yeah, the main character just looks. I just not connected with him at all, really. Sea of Thieves, absolutely appalling trailer for it. The player cams just spoilt the trailer completely for me. The game looks madly interesting, but the player cams just did my head in. They're just so forced enjoyment. And where's this Sea of Thieves community? The players from the Sea of Thieves community. The game's not even out yet. How have you got a community of the game already? It's not out yet. No one's played it before. How did you pick these people? Who are they? They're obviously fake, because just nothing really that exciting was going on the screen, to be honest with you, to warrant those reactions. And it was just shut up. I mean, it was just like, whoa, like, no, go away. Absolutely go away. Surprise one for me, next one was State of Decay 2. I've got the original State of Decay on the Xbox One and the Xbox 360, and I've never got more than 5 minutes past it, because I've just not had the time to invest in it. But looked interesting. If they can upscale the game, basically, and from the original idea, which I know what it is, then they could have a fantastic game on their hands. They could have the zombie game everybody wants. We then got Halo Wars 2. Never played the original, never a fan of RTS games, to be honest with you, but the Halo universe obviously was a very popular game, and I know a lot of people were asking for a sequel, so now we're getting it. And then we got the Project Scorpio announcement, and that's pretty much it, really. So I think, really, just looking over it, a lack of originality, really. We got an awful lot of sequels. Many reasons not to buy an Xbox One from Microsoft. And that's pretty much it, really. So, overall, a very disappointing conference, especially since I've now watched the Sony conference, which I thought was amazing, to be honest with you. Which I hate to say, because, like I say, I want Xbox to succeed, really. But there was a lack of gameplay footage as well, other than a few definitely scripted ones. But yeah, I'm overly disappointed with the Xbox conference, to be honest with you. I think it was the conference that told us not to buy an Xbox One, which is bizarre, because that's what the conference should be getting us to do, is to buy an Xbox One, and for me it achieved the opposite, and it didn't really bring anything new to the table, really. I'm going to do a separate video on the Idea Xbox section there, because there was a lot of games that we just got brief glimpses of there, so I need to have a look at those in more detail, so watch out for that video coming out in the next few days, probably come out Thursday, to be honest with you. But yeah, overall, disappointing conference. Not as disappointing as the Xbox One reveal conference, because that was just an utter disaster. Yeah, not a good showing, really. Not a good showing at all, especially what I saw afterwards as well from Sony. In terms of AAA games, anyway. And the one thing I will say is, if you are wanting indie games, I think Xbox is the place to be at the moment, to be honest with you, because that's one thing. Whilst the Sony conference, I'm just going to briefly mention here, I watched it earlier this morning, absolutely pissed all over the game lineup for AAA games. There was a severe lack of indie games on the PlayStation whatsoever. So I'm thinking the place to be for indie games, which is what my channel is centered about, where originality of games is thriving, then Xbox is the place to be, I still think, for indie games and indie followers. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to say brief overview of the Microsoft E3 conference, but I've been waffling on for 25 minutes now, so apologies for that. I'd like to hear your comments regards to my opinions and your own opinions in each of the sections there. And like I say, watch out for the separate Idea Xbox video, which I will do, because that's really what I'm mainly interested in, to be honest with you. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video.